Hello. Sorry, I'm looking at these. I was looking at what to put on in the background, and the options are just kind of funny. So, what is this? Epic Pokemon battle music to hype you up. Oh, this is an ad. Okay, let me mute that. Is it gonna... Oh. Is that loud? What the fuck? A bit loud. Let me turn it down. How's that? Should I Oh, oh shit. Oh. Oh. That'll do, right? Is that looks so is this even on the right way around? Well, I'm out. I've been killed. And we're going to have to watch that game. We should actually probably watch them in order of what's happened. Swaggy cosplay. People have been saying, yeah. What the fuck is this? Is this... Does this hype you up? Do people prefer this or the DPP music? Oh, my throat. Shouldn't do this right after I've eaten. Oh. Could have some bug type music. Is that a thing? Oh, by the way, Team Cat, I usually eat at like 6 p.m. It's just lately that I've been eating a bit later, but it's just procrastination. I just sit in my chair and then I'm like, I should get some food, and then I just take a while. But I usually eat way earlier. I know people eat a lot later. I usually eat like 6. No, Callie. No. Okay, we're going to watch them in order. I put this one up, but let me pull up the... Okay, so where do we start? Oh, wait. Okay, well, the first one... Okay, yeah, we can get this out of the way. We can get this first one out of the way. What do you mean the bug music be? Do you want to give me something? There's bug music? I don't know what counts to you as bug music. Oh, you sent it right here. I don't see anything. Any forest theme? Can you DM it to me on Discord? I don't see it in the chat. Yeah, I've got a message from B. Playlist for bug Pokemon. Okay. Oh, we've got a little Nintendo ad. Oh, it's a Pokopia ad. How lovely. Let me mute that. Can I? No, I can't. I can't skip this. And there's a Domino's ad. I keep having to look around because I can't. Here we go. Okay. How is that? Is that okay? Okay. Straight bugging it. How long is this, actually? This is an hour. Quiet. Okay, I can turn it up slightly. Oh, God. Not too much. I don't want it. Is that okay? Okay. I fucking hate this. Okay. Should we start looking at these games? So, we're going to go in order. And doing that means that we have to watch this game first, sadly. Let me see if I can move this slightly. Why is this not letting me? Here we go. There we go. If I do this. Okay, so obviously this is me versus Swaggy. Hooper sweeps. Yeah, so we can talk about a match for a bit, I guess. But yeah, so obviously this is my game, and obviously it doesn't matter what my prep was because I'm dead. But yeah, so of course Swaggy's terrors are what? We've got Terra Gapdos versus and Terra Heatran. So this is Flying and Fairy respectively. And I've got Terra Zarude, which is Terra Fairy. Going into this, I'm obviously expecting the Gapdos to Terra. Like, defensive Heatran with Fairy is obviously fine, but if you Terra the Heatran, you can't Terra the Gapdos, and it just doesn't feel worth it to me. Trying to remember the matchup, because it's been a while, of course, and I try to block this out of my head. This is obviously the first time I'm bringing Toxapex, and the idea of Toxapex here, of course, is that it's a good wall to the Mega Blastoise, but it also punishes it on spin and flip turn with a Rocky Helmet. So Toxapex is making its first appearance. This is basically just Swaggy's top 6. You don't expect anything else to come here. And my idea, of course, is to get some hazards up and to force the progress by making Blastoise have to spin. But yeah, okay, we can have a look at this game. So it was a Zarude lead into Mega Blastoise. So Mega Blastoise is obviously immediately fearing a grass move. So it makes sense that it would swap out. I Terra here and click U-turn. In hindsight, I probably should just knock this turn, because Mega Blastoise staying in is not very likely, right? I click U-turn because on the off chance it stayed in, I wanted to pivot into my Pex on a flip. But I probably the damage is probably worth it, right? I think this was a misplay by me, I guess is what I'm saying. But Heatran comes in obviously wanting to get a Flame Body burn. Swaggy at this point doesn't know, but I'm protective pads, so I'm immune to that. But obviously this is his hope. I found this interesting though, because we'll find out later this Heatran's AV, but then it was also supposed to be used as the Flame Body switching on the knockoff Zarude, which these two, I was a little shocked that it felt like it had a lot to do, I guess, but we'll see. It doesn't really not do it. Anyway, we bring out Gliscor. We have the first Toxic Orb of the season. And we are threatening an Earthquake into the Heatran. Straight into Blastoise is a pretty safe click because, well, firstly, Gliscor's not going to be able to hurt you. Best I could do is U-turn, pivot out, but then, of course, I guess you're not risking Flame Body, but it's a weird click. Heatran was tasked with answering too many stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, if I make the knockoff play turn 1 and immediately remove the AV, I think that it benefits me a lot more. Anyway, I get Stealth Rocks up, and then I pivot into the Toxapex on the Blastoise, because the whole idea of this Pex is that we tank the spin for the Rocky Helmet recovery. Now, this turn, I had a few clicks. So this Toxapex is running Scold, knock off, toxic, and then another move that I've forgotten. My idea this turn was that, well, if they stay in, well, I don't think they're ever staying in, but I think clicking toxic's pretty free because Petrant's not damaging me, and in my mind, Heatran doesn't make sense because, I mean, obviously I'm a water type, but of course, I guess I'm never clicking a water move this turn, and so I guess Heatran can come in. Another play, of course, was me just clicking knockoff, predicting the swap, which was probably made more sense because knockoff's going to hit everything other than the Blastoise. But why would Blastoise ever stay in it? It's not liking this. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I guess my thinking this turn was that you wouldn't go Heatran, but of course, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, anyway, so I obviously click Toxic this turn as Heatran comes out. This again was I should have just again clicked Knockoff. Knockoff would have been a lot better for me. And then at this point, I knew going into this I didn't have many good offensive Heatran switch-ins, and so I knew I would be trading my Toxapex here. On paper, I'm okay with this because iVow opens up a lot more with Heatran being gone. So I was happy to do this. It's also very good for my Zarude, right? My Zarude's Terra Fairy, so removing this is pretty good. Clicking knock every single turn, yeah. Anyway, I knocked at AV here. I firstly now just recover just to scout how much damage it's doing. I do find out here it's very offensive. I believe this is modest. I just try to scratch my head and there's a fucking thing on my head. Anyway, I just go for the Skull Chip here. Big 34 and I die to the Heatran. Then I go into the Hooper Unbound. I do have Focus Blast, which kills this guy. You're obviously never terroring Heatran at this point. And I do indeed go for the Dark Pulse play, and I don't get the roll into the Heatran. And then Heatran gets the reveal, of course, it had a move, my Hooper. And Heatran gets an unfathomable amount of value. Realistically, in hindsight, I could have just gone into Iron Valiant here. I didn't need to use Hooper in this way. I don't remember the Hooper spread. In the end, it was in my favor, but it wasn't. I believe it was like a 70%. I think I counted it afterwards. I believe it was like a 70% roll. But at the time, of course, I thought it was way more because I didn't account for any HP investment. But the 50, 56 or whatever the fuck it was, I guess 54, did put it to about 70. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No way you just said to me, no, it wasn't a 70, it was a 68.8. Get the fuck out of here. What's this shit? Okay. Anyway, Hooper goes down, and then I go into Iron Valiant. So originally I was thinking, well, I could click Psychic here to try to catch the Petch, but in my mind, it made no sense to make that play, and the only thing... Yeah, anyway, so then so I actually clicked Psychic here, and then I changed my mind because it makes no sense to keep your 1% Heatran. Yeah, and then the Petrant comes out on the Moonblast and takes 24. And at this point, I definitely stopped for a second and thought to myself, I'm in a very bad spot, right? So... Hooper going down, and then this spot made this very tough. Best click of the whole circuit. Yeah, this play was crazy to me. Yeah, so at this point in the game, my thinking was the following. My Zarude, to spoil it, is Fizz Death. And my thinking is, the only way that Iron Valiant doesn't fry this entire roster is if this is Scarf Gyarados. So my thinking was it has to be Scarf Gyarados to deny Iron Valiant from single-handedly winning the entire game. And so, although I could swap into Metagross here, if I get that wrong and Petrant clicks Shadow Ball, I'm in an even worse spot. And if I get this chip on Petrant, that's much better for my Zarude, because my Zarude doesn't actually have a way to boost its attack. So my thinking is I should get the chip on Petrant, because there's obviously the chance that Swaggy misplays and Shadow Balls, and even if Ival goes down, I think that I have to go for the end game of Zarude, given I'm already behind. So, obviously reveal Lorb, and I go for the Psychic here. I knew obviously from the Moonblast damage I wasn't going to be able to kill. I knew this was going to be a 2-shot, and Swaggy does correctly Malignant Chain into Ival, and this dude dies. But at this point, my Zarude is in a very nice spot. I go into it here. Obviously, Knockoff claims a kill on the Petrant, and you're not going to swap in Meowscarada or anything into it. And yeah, so Heatran, of course, comes out to be sacked for a Flame Body burn, which, of course, it doesn't get. And then I bring out the Metagross on Gyarados. So my Metagross is Rocky Helmet with a... I think it has a... No, sorry, yeah. Sorry, it doesn't have a Citrus Berry. It's Rocky Helmet. So my Metagross, yeah, it's Rocky Helmet. I forget what else it had. And it's obviously here just to get some damage on the Gyarados. And here we reveal, after the Terra Flying and the 42, that this Gyarados is banded. And by the way, this was the max roll it could get as well. Not that it mattered, of course. But yeah, this was actually the max roll a banded, jolly, Terra Flying Gyarados could do to Metagross. To my Metagross, at least. And this, of course, revealed to me that this game was looking like a lost cause. The thing with, to me, like, I'm obviously a hater here, but what is the plan for Valiant? Other than, like, I just let Spadef Petulant kill it. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. But it worked. I mean, I can't be too mad. Anyway, takes the chip here, swaps into Garchomp as I knock off the incoming Garchomp. I see here that it was Light Ball, which is a crazy thing. Petch wins. Heatran can win if I Terra, and M-Stoice can trade. Well, M-Stoice is stuck being a hazard spin bot. If Heatran Terra'd, I mean, does it... Heatran's getting knocked off this game, though, right? I mean, I mean, obviously, like, Heatran's being knocked off because you're also trying to use it as the flame body mon, right? And it's also the Pex. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, it just, yeah, I was just shocked that it wasn't Scarf Gyarados, right? Like, my thinking, yeah. Anyway, knocked off a Light Ball, which is crazy. And then, sorry, I have to obviously preserve Metagross for the Zapdos because I need the chip. And then here I just get my chip on the Gliscor. Was surprised. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze again. God, my nose. So I had Defog for that turn, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're doing with these Garchomps, man. But anyway, I had Defog for that turn, but my thinking was you were gonna go hard Megastoice because you don't want the rocks going up for your Gyarados. But yeah, you Roar instead, which of course, I mean, I guess you can still get Megastoice in later, but and get in my Metagross, which now this chip means, of course, that I'm going to die. I can't eat 2 Brave Birds, which is big because I think it means that the Gyarados... no, Gyarados probably didn't die. The 2. Anyway, Megastoice picks up the kill and Gliscor, and I go into Zarude. Zarude's my whole win con, but I'd need it to be able to eat the Zapdos hits, which it just can't do. I Terra Blast the Garchomp coming in, meaning that I don't take the rough skin damage. And here, I eat the singular Brave Bird and recover, but sadly this is not enough damage for the Rocky Helmet to kill. Yeah, with the Spike obviously helped this. I think without the Spike, I would have eaten 2. I don't think it's... yeah, it's not enough, though, for you to die still. No, it is, sorry. So yeah, so the Spike was very impactful. Maybe I should have defogged, but my fear was that you would... I mean, obviously hard Gyarados just won the game on the spot if you make that play. Obviously, if I was Speedy Zarude as well, I probably would have been fine. But, of course, I was Fizdef because my thinking was I could take on Meowscarada, Garchomp, Gyarados. And the banded Gyarados claims the game. Damn. So, 3-0 win to Scraggy. Meowscarada not even hitting the field. Yeah, that's the first game. Yeah, I mean, I definitely came out this game mainly thinking to myself, I don't understand the prep, but obviously that's a skill issue on my end. Sorry, I just got a ping. But yeah, I kind of had to go all in on an idea right after the Hooper died, and I got the call wrong, so it happens. Okay, game 2 is Cavern versus Team Cap. For some reason. I'm going to take this off. Oh my god, my hair. Oh. Oh. Okay. It was fake hair. Oh. Okay. Yeah, game 2, Cavern versus Team Cap. So, what is this? Obviously, Terra Water Mew, Terra Poison Arcanine, and on the other side, it's Terra Steel Melm and no Blissey. Okay, yeah, I doubt we'll pause this one too much. But yeah, I mean, obviously, the one thing to know immediately is kind of Cavern's shocking removal between Defog Zapdos, Defog Rabombi. Granted, Team Cap's removal as well as just the Scissor. But we'll see what happens here. Firstly, I want to pause and say I don't like this. Team Cap, this is, I don't like this. we need to fix this whole moderated chat thing. We want people yapping. What the hell? Okay. Immediate Terra Poison from Arcanine is interesting, right? Because you're obviously going into the game, you're expecting the Mew to Terra. Considering it's so many points for the Terramon. But yeah, immediate Terra Poison Arcanine. Obviously, this means that you can deny a Toxic from Mesprit. As you Toxic Mesprit yourself and also deny the Toxic, which is nice. Yeah. Okay. Mew comes hard in now on the Mesprit on a Thunder Wave. So Cavern was running both status moves, but it's Lumberry. Removes that immediately. And it's Taunt Mew to deny the next Toxic, which is cool. Zapdos comes in on the Mew as a Spike goes up. Obviously, it's going to be Defog Zapdos. Or Defog Rabombi, I guess. But anyway, Heat Wave misses the Duraludon, and now we Defog as a Dragon Tail comes out. But the Para is kind of only good for Cavern here with the Spike now gone. U-turn from Rabombi into as the Scissor comes out, and we get Mesprit in. Is it going to go for Rocks? No, it Fire Punches, trying to catch the Scissor to stay in, but going to Duraludon, so we call that, and then we Detail again as the on the Zapdos and pull out the Melm. Melm is Terra Steel, goes to the double Iron Bash. Is this banded damage? 41? Surely it's not. Oh, no, it's a Swampert. No, yeah, okay. Okay. So yeah, 41 from the double Iron Bash. That's not a two-shot. Punching Gloves. Oh, right, because this is going to be Rocky Helmet. Right, makes sense. Rocks go up. Crazy. Do you not ever fear, like, a fast Melm? Is that not something... I mean, I guess from the damage... No, I guess you can't tell, right? Because what happens if you set Rocks and the Melmetal just double Iron Bashed again? Because then you can't even rest it off, right, if it's, like, fast. But I guess you're just not expecting a fast Melm. I don't know if this thing had speed invest. This Swampert has speed investment, of course. Maybe it has enough, so that's not an issue. But anyway, Rocks go up as we make a double into Zapdos as the Duraludon comes out to be able to defog now away the Rocks. Cavern really does not want these hazards up. But now, of course, we're threatening Spikes again. as the Burnett comes out. We taunt, though, as Burnett comes out, meaning that now... So I guess you were a bit worried about a Toxic, or I guess just later Defogs. But now Burnett coming out means free Poltergeist. What is the switch into Poltergeist? It's the Arcanine. Arcanine's not Intim, notably. It's going to be... Yeah, because it's the Emboar switch in, so it's Flash Fire, so it resists both stabs. Anyway, Skittersmack comes out. Right, because you can't Poltergeist because because it's lost its Lumberry. And now we swap into the Mesprit on the Toxic. Surely Polt did a lot, no? Am I tripping if you just stayed in Polt? Anyway. Duraludon comes out on the Mesprit as it T-Waves again. Gets no leeway from that T-Wave. And now it's just a really low Mesprit. We're really making no progress. We make a Roost on Zapdos as we get detailed out. More chip on the Mesprit. It's just really, I mean, is it really going to be Wisp Toxic? Like, come on now. I mean, maybe, but like, you have to make progress, right? Anyway, another detail. We're making, I guess, small bits of chip right now as Cavern's making really no progress into this team. But the Melm finally comes out to be able to double Iron Bash again. We double Iron Bash. We deal another 42, threatening a kill. But of course, here we are slower and the rest comes out. So we're showing that our plan is, of course, is to PP stall it. It's Chesto Berry as well, so obviously you can't lose to not like waking up. Yeah, the sleep turns aren't too bad. As another double Iron Bash comes out, we can just click it again though. The rocks go up on another double Iron Bash. Rocks obviously still good. Zapdos wants to remove them, but the next time it comes in, there's a good chance it's going to get status for that. Rest comes out again. Cavern's really just trying to break through this thing, but he's nearly there now. Yeah, obviously free PP left, I know. But we're now down to 2. As Scissor Megas, but it's Morning Sun. Is there a reason for Morning Sun over Roost, or is it just an aesthetic choice? I assume it's just an aesthetic choice. I don't think there's any difference here. I guess like Random Sun. Imprison Roost Rabombi. That's... But don't you just BP it? I don't see the... What's the problem? I don't understand that. Okay, well, there we go. That's... Okay, anyway. T-Wave comes out. So we don't have to waste a double Iron Bash PP and we make some progress. Now we double Iron Bash again. We're only doing 30. Bit of a weird click, right? Because you know that you're going to get PP stored on this move. What are the last 2 moves at this point? Does Melm get a fire move? I would assume it gets like Fire Punch. Anyway, Zapdos comes out on the Morning Sun, able to now defog away these rocks. No fire move, damn. Okay, Heat Wave comes out on the Duraludon. Full power on the Duraludon. Finally making some progress on this dude. Another full power. We go for one more. Another full power. 29% Duraludon. What's it going to do on this last one? Finally pulls off a rest. You're making no progress into this team. We were doing so well with the powers. Okay, the Emboar now finally comes out. Head smashes into the Arcanine on the swap. So obviously calls that this is the... oh no, they were both in. Anyway, Citrus Berry proc. So this is not a 2-shot KO. And Arcanine now toxics the Emboar. So this is not going to be a long-term problem. And now you can just heal with Morning Sun. Melm's in. Wants to go for another attack. We T-Wave, but Thunderous comes in to stop that. And big Volt Switch back into Mega Scissor to take the last double Iron Bash PP. So you've got to wonder now, what the fuck is Melmetal doing? This Mon has just really not done anything. Yeah. Anyway. A rest now from Melmetal. Can you call a move? Yeah, you can call a move you use the PP of. I didn't know if this changed at some point, but yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, Rest Talk Melmetal pulling double Iron Bash now to try to now continue, still make progress, but you're just not getting through this Mega Scissor. I mean, 5 Morning Sun PP left. You are slowly getting there, I guess. But, yeah, anyway. We knock off the punching gloves, which now means that Swampert can come in to get some meaningful chip on this guy. Kill me fast, though. U-turn now into the Thunderous. And we taunt on the Sleep Talk, so now you can't even click the double Iron Bash. And Mesprit finally comes out to be sacked. So first Mon dies on turn 45. To have a look at the progress here, right? 5 Mons at 100%, and then a 60% Swampert, which is essentially dead, right? I mean, it's got no sleep turns used up. But, yeah, I mean, 5 Mons at 100%, whereas on the other side here, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, I mean, Toxic 68% Embor, 71% Zapdos, dead Mesprit. And this Melmetal is pretty much out of commission, considering the only things it can click are stuff that gets taunted by Thunderous. So Thunderous can come in now on Melmetal every single time and just stop it from doing anything. So that's cool. So I think what all we're going to see here is the slow death of Cavern. Head Smash miss, not that it really mattered other than Embor dying faster. And now Zapdos comes up on the Morning Sun, even though it was at full. And Melmetal comes out on the Arcanine, and Arcanine swaps into Scissor. I'm pretty sure we find out later, right, that the Arcanine has a fire move. So what are we worried about? Is it just a double Iron Bash pull as we don't kill? I guess that's it. And you want Arcanine healthy for the Embor. Anyway, Sleep Talk, T-Wave, and now of course Melmetal needs to rest again. But if it ever rests again, then that's a free turn for Thunderous to come in. So it swaps out into Zapdos and gets U-turned into Mew. And now Psychic Noise is going to deny Zapdos from healing. And now it's also poisoned, so this Zapdos is pretty much dead. And Melmetal comes in on the Spike. Yeah, I mean, this is looking very bad. Sleep Talk T-Wave. Right, you're more worried about the T-Wave, I guess. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, this is a free turn to just get your Thunderous in. Actually, we go Mega Scissor. Feels like a waste, right? Why wouldn't you just go Thunderous? Is that not a free Thunderous taunt turn? And, like, Taunt's extremely free because you can pretty much pivot on everything here. Anyway, the rest comes out as Mega Scissor comes in. It's Sleep Talk Rest, and now this is a slow U-turn. No, never mind, full power. And now Thunderous comes hard in on the Sleep Talk, but pulled Rest. I mean, realistically, you're not going to take that much from Double Iron Bash anyway, but yeah. And now Thunderous can just click T-Bolt or Volt Switch. Yeah, that works too. And Embor is now dead, and Arcanine is in. I wonder if Arcanine was... No, Arcanine feels... Is Arcanine faster than the Zap? Could this not have been like a free Roost turn? I guess it doesn't really matter, it's Toxic. Anyway, Melmetal comes in now. Again with the swap, when realistically, now Embor's dead, you could probably just Fire Move this guy, right? But I guess this is always free. There's really no reason to not. Again, though, this is a turn where it was really free to just go Thunderous. Because it has to wake up. But anyway, we go Scissor again. Click Rest. We're going to get a slow U-turn off here with Scissor on the T-Wave. And this is now free Thunderous. Obviously, we can taunt, but whether or not we're going to... No, we just Volt Switch. 42% on the Mega Banette. Good. Ugh. And now we finally reveal Flamethrower and are able to two-shot the Melmetal. So I guess, yeah, you still wanted it for the Banette. Rabombi comes out, but, I mean, what is Rabombi really even clicking here? Switcheroo. I'm pretty sure now the entire team just dies to the Scarf Flamethrower Arcanine. Oh, big D-Bond. And now, I guess Thunderous is going to end the game. Yeah. So it ends 5-0 for Team Cap after a clutch D-Bond. But yeah, I mean, Cavern's team just couldn't break through this squad. So realistically, this was just a well-prepped, bulky team made to just withstand Cavern's team. So GG's. That puts Team Cap into, what, round 2 of winners and Cavern into losers. Okay, next up we got K-Dot versus Hans. God, it's been a while since I've seen these guys. Okay, So what is this? Terra Cart, Terra Mamo versus Terra Jugulus, Terra Komodo. And it's Terra Steel Jugulus, Terra Steel Komodo versus Terra Steel Cart, Terra Steel Mamo. So they're all fucking Terra Steel. Why? I guess on one side you're worried about guard, and on the other side, why are Honz's Terra Steel? I guess, yeah, I don't really know. But sorry, Cart's Terra Steel. Sorry, these are offensive terrors on Honz's side. These aren't defensive, right? The whole point is that these two mons break through K-Dot's team with the steel moves, yeah. Whereas K-Dot seemingly are defensive Terra Steels. Okay, cool. Yeah. Mama Swine lead into Azelf. So I guess you're obviously expecting it's like maybe even Sash Mamo, Sash Azelf. But firstly, we see a knockoff from the Azelf and reveals Choice Band Mamo, and we deal 80% to the Azelf. Obviously, you're expecting a shard in the back if it's banded. K-Dot could obviously try to make that cool and swap, but also what do you even swap into? The shard, right? There's literally nothing here that wants to swap into shard. It's actually like, it's like an unbelievably free click. So yeah, you just go for it because, yeah, what are you switching into that? Finally now Venusaur can Mega, so that it's not as weak to the shard, but Gardevoir comes out on the Mega. As the Giga Drain comes out. So yes, Gardevoir's in a good position now to just get off one big hit with Psychic. 82% into the Venusaur as P-Jab comes out and claims the Mega Gardevoir. Hon says, nice one in the chat. I assume this is because it's mixed Mega Venusaur into the Guard, and I assume that this Gardevoir had Spadef EVs to live the Sludge Bomb. Anyway, Cart is now in a prime position to just Terra and click its Steel move, so we're probably about to see a big hit. Excadrill is not known for its Fizz Def, and it takes 42 from the Smart Strike. What even is the... Wait, what is the base power of Smart Strike? Am I tripping? I thought it was 70. Am I wrong? So why is Terra Blast not better? Oh, it doesn't get Terra Blast. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, forgot about that shit. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Anyway, obviously going to swap out here. Gligar's extremely free in this Excadrill. By the way, just to note, Excadrill does not learn Ice Spinner. Just so everyone here knows. You know, I know some people get that confused. Anyway, rocks go up on the Gligar. Gligar reveals to be Swords Dance, which is pretty hype. Notably, not very good switch-ins that are just like EQ plus Rock Slide, or like I guess EQ plus something to hit Jugulus. And then Ironhead comes out doing literally nothing to the Gligar, as Sugarberry Excadrill cannot eat that EQ. And now Juggy comes out, Dark Pulsing for 32 on the Roost from Gligar. It's still bulky. Yeah, I mean SD is so free on this bulky dude, right? Gligar was genuinely Honz's scariest mon in this matchup. Yeah, it looks like an absolute threat, right? God, can we talk about how this Jugulus is never in terrain? I find it... I swear this Jug has not been in terrain a single time this tour. And I find it so sad because in terrain, this Iron Jugulus is going to be a demon. Obviously not into this. Well, honestly, if it's like Spatak boosting, yeah, there's no Dark Pulse switch in, right? No, but you say blame Ionfa for sniping the Crown, but the Crown being sniped doesn't mean that Jugulus can't be in terrain. I don't really get the reasoning. Anyway, we Dark Pulse for 32. Jewel Wingbeat comes out. It's a 2-shot after the SD. Citrus Berry procs, though, still a 2-shot after that. I assume Hans goes for the Roost here. No flinch. And now we probably want to just take the kill with the... Oh, no, we Roost again on the Hurricane miss. And now we can just take the kill with Jewel Wingbeat. Flinch, finally. Another Dark Pulse comes out. Another Roost. Do we just go for the kill this turn? And Jewel Wingbeat comes out and claims the Iron Jugulus. So that's 2 kills for Gligar. Komao now comes out. Spectra comes hard in. You have to assume it's a Mirror Herb. And it is. +1 speed. And Mudshot comes out on the Terra Steel, lowering the speed of Komao. And Ironhead fails to pick up the kill. Second Mudshot misses as a Dragon Dance comes out. Now, can we talk about this Dragon Dance? Because this was the craziest click of the fucking game, right? So, if Spectria hits Mudshot, you just die. Because you're getting your speed lowered. So you're not faster still. Yeah, this was crazy. This was actually crazy. But it worked out, I guess. 5% Mudshot miss. Because it's over. Yeah, no, you're actually spitting facts. You should have gone for another reel. But yeah, Mudshot hits here, and at neutral speed it kills the Spectria, but that now lets in Kartana for the Sacred Sword kill. I assume this meant that Smart Strike didn't kill there, but this lets in the Mega Venusaur. Bulkier, I think, than Hans expected, living on 1% from the +1 Sacred Sword Kartana, and able to Symph up. So now Hans is forced to swap out. Toxtricity comes in as a Mega Venusaur gets to full. Big nuzzle from the from the Toxtricity. Full power, Boom Burst of 42, as we see that Toxtricity was AV, so it could live another hit here. And finally, Mega Venusaur tries to heal off this damage, but it just isn't. It's not good enough in when a Mega Venusaur's powered to really go for the Simp spam. We try to swap in Tapu Koko, but Boom Burst does way too much damage, and Wild Charge picks up the kill. But now you've let your Koko get to 16%. I mean, the game was probably over anyway, right? But it's probably worth just letting the Venusaur go there rather than make this play. Anyway, this is probably free Kartana now, as it's Scarf Cart. Smart Strikes kills the Tapu Koko, and now we find out that Venusaur gets 2-shot by the Smart Strike, forced to EP because of this, and then Mamo picks up the game with EQ. Overall, it probably ended pretty close, right, in terms of what's left, but I guess Hans could just sack Mons at this point due to the fact that it was just Koko Venusaur left. So pretty convincing win from Hans. Gligar really put in a shift this game, and the kind of AV Toxtricity Mirror Herb Spectra was good prep to force progress on some of these Mons as K-Dot tries to break down the team. I just really wish we got to see this Iron Jugulus in terrain more. I think it's a shame that it wasn't in. It never really got to do it. Okay. Just reading this dinner conversation in general chat. The more north you go, the earlier dinner is. I make fun of Spanish people for eating dinner so late. One-way dinner is at 6. Yeah. I remember I went to Spain, and I found it crazy because they eat dinner at like 9 p.m. Well, like the place is like open for dinner at like 9 p.m. But then they also want you out by 11. But like we had like a table of 10, and it was just, yeah. I just didn't get it. I don't get how restaurants make money that way. That seems crazy to me. Anyway, here we eat dinner at 10 p.m. But like, what time? Do you not sleep at like 11? Do you not like sleep at like 11, 12 p.m? I don't understand. Like, what do you mean you have a full belly when you get into bed? That feels wrong. I feel like I want my food to digest before I go to bed. It's crazy. Anyway, next game. Empoleon versus Friday. Every time I look at Empoleon's team, I just think it looks bad. I don't know if this is just me, but I just don't respect the team. Like, it just looks so sad. What is this? What is playing in the background? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like his team. I'm gonna star me. This team is saucy. Is saucy really what you'd call it? Yeah, the BST difference is the big bit, right? I mean, you know. I think that... Okay, I mean, Terra Ogerpon Teal is just a massive matchup fish, in my opinion. And so, like, yeah, sure, if you get the matchup fish, it's great. But then if you don't, you're sort of forced to make use of Terra Dodun, which is fine. It's a good mon, but I don't know. It's mainly the BST thing for me. Like, the team just feels like it's missing a lot of stats compared to other teams, especially 3 days. Notably, by the way, there's no Keldeo this week. It's Terra Uxie and no Keldeo. And on Empoleon's side, we see Terra Ogerpon, Terra Dodun, with Terra Ghost Dodun and Terra Grass, of course, on the Ogerpon. It's so sad I can't hear the bug music on my headphones at the gym. I'm crying. This doesn't even sound like bug music anymore. It sounds like a ghost theme tune. I don't know. Okay. Let's get into this. So it's Darkrai lead into Dudunsparce. Obviously, Dudunsparce can just start glaring this team pretty freely. This is really you can tell I don't know Pokemon. Anyway, yeah, so Dodun obviously has 3 glares into this team. Could also maybe just want to set up rocks. Like, Terrapagos is obviously a good spinner, but by setting hazards into 3Day's team, you sort of force the Terrapagos out. Anyway, Garchomp comes hard in on just a Boom Burst click. It's hard to know what kind of Dodun this is based on this damage, because we don't know how bulky this Garchomp is. It's obviously Mega Garchomp. But I'm going to assume it's not Spec. I assume this is just like some Spatak EV's Dudunsparce. Anyway, Toxic comes out from Garchomp. We don't Mega, as a crit Boom Burst is 55. Not the end of the world in terms of this interaction, as you're still eating 2, and you would have died to 3. But Toxic on the Dodun. And then a Klefki swap on the next Boom Burst. Maybe it is Specs. Maybe my head count is just awful. Lefties on a Klefki and a swap from the Dudunsparce as Sub comes out from the Klefki. So this obviously is going to make Overheat a worse click. And we see Toxic come out on the Volt Switch. Volt Switch not breaking Sub, so it's Spadef, Klefki. And Dragapult comes out. Dragapult most likely Infiltrator if it's making this play. But also, even with like a Shadow Ball, you're not going to kill Spadef, Klefki in one. Rotom Heat comes out on a double swap as another Toxic comes out. So now this is Chip. You can obviously now Volt Switch again to break Sub, and you can't substitute this turn if you're Klefki due to Prankster. But we get a Spike Up. From 3Day's perspective, he's thinking this turn that Starmie is going to want to remove the Spike on a predicted swap, or maybe just a Toxic, but of course Natural Cure Starmie. But what we really see here, if I remember correctly, is that the Toxic comes out, and a Surf comes out doing 67% to the Klefki, which is just a shit ton. And now Garchomp is now sacked to the Starmie as we allow the Spike to stay up. 0 special attack to Dun, pretty sure, into max HP. Is that really? Okay, I mean, so the reason I was surprised was that the Dodun didn't Fire Blast the Klefki, right? That was, but I guess if it's max Spadef, then the idea is that you're just getting Toxic chipped down still. And 3Day could 1 swap, and 2, what actually did happen, the Sub would have been more impactful in that case. So, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I honestly did more to the Garchomp than I expected, considering that it's 0 special attack. Anyway, Garchomp dies to the Starmie Surf. Now Darkrai comes out, obviously threatening a dark move here, but Starmie stays in and clicks Surf on the Will-O-Wisp. So my guess here is that the Starmie's Colbur, right? So this looks like a crazy click, but actually you just lived the hit. I assume that's what's happening here, is this is a Colbur Starmie. And so just kind of like got it right that the prep worked and Friday tried to make the predict. Anyway, now Tinkerton comes out. Notably it's Analytic Starmie. As a sub happens from the Darkrai. Starmie expected Pursuit Darkrai. Oh, I see. So you thought you were dead anyway. Okay. Are we going to see a Scarf Tinkerton with Encore? We are. I do slightly remember this game. So yeah, so completely denies Darkrai. It's just lost HP for fun now as the Dunsparce comes out. The Dun coming out makes a lot of sense because you can obviously Boom Burst through the Substitute to kill the Darkrai immediately. So 3 days force a swap, knowing this is a possibility. And Cinderace comes out, makes a lot of sense. Would have taken less from the Gigaton Hammer. And now we're probably going to see a U-turn into the Klefki. No, just a hard swap into the Klefki on the Glare. So Glare makes a lot of sense from the Dunsparce. Another Substitute coming up from the Klefki, but Boom Burst going through the sub does do the 9% to kill. So crazy sub click, really. I feel like another Spike would have made a lot of sense. Specs me. Okay, no, fair enough. Yeah, damn. Oh, okay, I see. Right, so the damage just felt like... Okay. Honestly, Specs Analytic only doing that much to Darkrai, the 70-odd, is it kind of sad, no? Is that wrong of me to think? Like, I really would have thought that would have done more. Anyway, Boomburst picks up the kill on the Klefki. Probably would have been nice to get another Spike up there. I don't really know what you sub for. But Darkrai finally comes out to get some leftovers recovery, I guess, with Protect, before trying to pick up the kill with, I guess, a Dark Pulse. Dragapult's free to come out, or the Ogerpon, I guess, but Dragapult comes out, threatening a kill with U-turn. Even with the Protect, you're going to need to swap here. Cinderace comes out on the U-turn. Rotom Heat now comes in. I don't know why Rotom Heat in particular, but Double Edge comes out from Libero, doing an absolute shit ton, as Volt Switch does 30. So Cinderace is significantly chipped from this interaction. And Dragapult coming in, trying to take advantage of the fact this thing's now a normal type. Force swap by the Dragapult as Tarap comes in, and Dragon Darts breaks the shell. Damn. T-Wave neutralizes the Terapagos, as Earth Power just does nothing to this Dragapult. And then a crit U-turn into Rotom Heat happens as the Earth Power again does nothing. I think that the first Earth Power really told Empoleon that this Terapagos doesn't have a good way to hit it, and so Rotom's really a free click unless Friday makes the hard prediction of the Starstorm. Which, yeah, doesn't happen. And now a Defog comes out to remove the Spike. Full Power sucks. Volt Switch now comes out because of the... so Rotom Heat now doesn't need to die, and you can preserve a sack. And Dragapult comes back in to deal another 30% to the Terapagos, as Earth Power's just doing nothing. I wonder what the set was, right, if you're only running 2 attacks on your Terapagos. Do you think it's like Carmine Rock Polish? Maybe, no, it's probably Rapid Spin, right? Rapid Spin Carmine, I guess, because whatever coverage you're going to have on this thing, I think all you need is EP plus thingy. Looked a bit bulky. I think it'll be CM Spin, yeah. Yeah, anyway. Cinderace comes out. I assume it's Scarf. Oh, no, it's not Scarf, sorry. But I guess it's Sucker Punches on the T-Wave. Yeah, so damn. Calls that, and now we can finally sack the Rotom Heat this turn. And preserve our Dragapult. And finally, the Terra Grass Ogerpon comes in, tanks the Sucker Punch, and is able to just start cudgeling this team. Uxie comes in, Terra poisons, Cudgel still does 41%, as the substitute comes out. That's not enough. Sorry, the sub is not. It's not going to be helping you here. Cudgel is going to break through the team, and Draining Kiss is healing nothing. So this is going to be 3 Cudgels to finish off the game. Damn. Not even like a T-Wave on the bulky Uxie. It's probably not bulky Uxie, sorry. It's probably it's probably got like, yeah, I doubt it's bulky, right? Take 41. Bulky Adamant Ace. So yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely a big Ogerpon game. Really took advantage of yeah, the opening that the what's it called? Starmie Dun gave you with Klefki going down. Yeah, I mean, well played. Dragapult really did a lot here. I honestly, I don't think it's often that I think that Dragapult shows its value at its 20-point status, but I think this game, you know, just the speed tier alone really let it just kind of fuck around, and Friday had to be the one to try to make the calls this game. The kind of immunity stuff that this team's got going on does work in it when Empoleon makes the correct calls, right? So, well played from Empoleon. Is that the four games in the... Yeah. So, after that, where were we? I think I've got the thing up here. So, obviously everything's spoiled here, but they've all happened. So, after that, what did we have? We had Team Cap versus Swaggy and Empoleon Hons in the upper bracket. And me versus Cavan, and Friday versus K-Dot in the losers bracket. So we're on to round 2. Oh, so the first round 2 game was Swaggy versus Cap. So we'll pull that one up. I'll grab some water. There's a little break, and I'll also reset the music since it's about to end. So you can listen to some bug stuff while I grab some water. Okay. Oh, okay. This is just DJS adding, my dad eats dinner at 10:30 p.m. That's good. Dumb Max. Excuse me? Brother better steal this matchup. Yeah, no scissor. Roaring Moon just feels so sad, right? Because, like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's worth its points. Oh, God. Anyway, okay, what do we got here? Yeah, so it's what, Terra Electric, Gyarados, Terra Fairy Heatran. Moon has 1 kill so far. And we've got Terra Fairy Mew and Terra Normal Arc. Worth noting, before getting this game, we see Terra Normal on the Arcanine quite a lot. But beforehand, it's never terra'd it before. So usually we see the Terra Mew, and there's been a Terra Normal Arcanine in the back that never actually terrors it. So yeah, so of course, yeah, to spoil it, Arcanine will be terroring this game. But it's interesting, of course, seeing it all those times before, where you're kind of bluffing that this could be a Terra Normal endgame mon, and then the Mew does it instead. Moon without Terra, the most chungus mon of all time. I feel like it's forced to just... I think the I think the setup sets are bad, and I think its best sets without Terror are just like Banded, or just like U-turn bot, stuff like that. I think those are usually what I like out of it. Anyway, let's get into this. Knock, Taunt, U-turn, or Banded, yeah. Swampert lead into the Meowscarada. Feels bad for the Swampert to begin with, but if you're leading it, you're obviously, well, you're expecting it to be Rindo Berry here. Meowscarada goes for the immediate Toxic Spike. Stealth Rocks go up, so that we trade hazards turn 1, and Meowscarada swaps straight into Blastoise to remove the hazards. Which is interesting, right? Because if you're... I mean, I guess the idea is that you're fearing an Earthquake and Rindo Berry, because it would... If you Flower Trick, you would not die... You would not kill it, and then it would kill you with an EQ. But Blastoise comes in, has to take the rocks, and then we also get Yawn. We don't even get... get it like a flip turn or like a hard swap out from the Swampert side, or an EQ. We get Yawned this turn. We go hard into Pecharunt to try to remove the Drowsy. We get Yawned again. And I remember watching this game, and from my perspective, I was thinking, you can never parting shot here. It's just, one, not worth it in case of random... It's just not worth it, right? If it's random protect, you just fucking lose your Pecharunt for a while. But what we see here is a parting shot come out on the Protectical. Like the second Yawn was obviously very free, and now Pecharunt gets put to sleep, and Flip Turn comes out on the Blastoise. So this Blastoise has already taken 36% of its health, and Pecharunt has been put to sleep, and all you've gotten out of this situation is a T-Spike up that hasn't even poisoned anyone yet. And now you're in a bad situation positionally with Thundurus in versus Blastoise. So, like, just off the bat, this feels so unbelievably bad for Swaggy. We're probably going to see, I believe, Thundurus actually... Acrobatics for 67% with the Flying Gem into Garchomp. So, obviously, this is a two-shot. I guess Scarf Garchomp is something you might want to worry about, but at the same time... Calm down, B. At the same time, Swaggy's not known for anything other than a defensive chomp. And we've seen Rocky Helmet now. So you could have picked up the kill, but instead now we defog away the T-Spike, so we're saying, yeah, this is more meaningful. I mean, is it? I mean, yeah, I mean, sure. I feel like picking up this kill would have been nice, but I guess since it's Rocky Helmet, you're not thinking it can actually damage you too much anyway, so you might as well remove the T-Spike from your side of the field, pretty much mitigating anything that Swaggy's done so far in his game. Detail now misses, so obviously fortunate for Team Cap. Detail hitting could have been big depending on what comes out, but there is no hazard down, so it's really not the end of the world. But now we can just pick up the kill with Acrobatics. But Pecharunt comes out to try to deny that. What do we have for the Pecharunt? We're Bulk Up. And this Pech now has to sleep. Procs a Citrus Berry, so it actually lives another Acrobatics. And it finally wakes up, but it just Toxics. Is this correct? Is it not better to Symph here and then just sack Garchomp, was my thinking. Obviously, you don't know what's in the back, so I'm coming from a slight hindsight situation where I know how the game ends. He clicked Toxic. What do you mean he expected Taunt? Doesn't make any sense. If you're expecting Taunt, you click like Malignant. Yeah. Obviously, it makes sense what I'm saying based on what's in the back, but I think the better play here probably would have been to recover, sack Garchomp, and then get out Meowscarada. Because in that situation, you turned losing Garchomp into removing the sleep on your Pech, right? And if you can do that, then at least Meowscarada revenges. I guess Meowscarada... Sorry. I guess I'm... So I assume that Meowscarada doesn't have Taxel? Is that part of this, the reasoning here? I'll wait for a swaggy response if he wants to say something. You posted your paste, didn't you? Okay, anyway. Well, the playoff this happens. So, anyway, Toxic Thunderous. And confuse it. And now we sack Garchomp anyway. Might have been worth, with the 5% Petulant, just playing for the confusion, hit yourself to get the recovery off. I don't really know how else you're getting recovery on Pet. I guess maybe on the, like, I don't know, Duraludon or Swampert, I guess, yeah. So one of these two, maybe. Anyway, we get the kill here on the Garchomp, and now Meowscarada can revenge with, yep, knockoff. Takes the kill. So we're traded. So just to pause here, we're essentially back where we started. You know, Meowscarada versus Swampert. The main difference here is that it's a 5% Petulant on one side and a 36% off the Megastoise on the other. And from Team Cap's side, literally nothing has taken damage. So we're back where we started, but Team Cap is obviously ahead at this point. And we're probably going to see just another trade of hazards, right? So T-Spike goes up, Rocks go up, Rocks notably killing the Petulant. We get a second T-Spike, and Meowscarada gets yawned. The Rocks are now obviously more impactful because this now means that Swampert can just spam Yawn. Flower Trick comes up, proccing the Rindo Berry on the Pert, only doing 42. Yawn fails, and the Meowscarada gets put to sleep. We find out next turn that on this flip turn that it was a eject button Meowscarada. So obviously Swaggy was hoping that the Swampert would flip turn into the eject button, but Yawn spam made a lot more sense because you force something to get put to sleep, or you're forced to sack Petulant. But even if you sack Petulant, nothing can kill Swampert from full up anyway, so it's the Yawn click was so unbelievably free. Now with Meowscarada asleep, we can finally spin with Stoice and threaten the Swampert. So we rapid spin on the Stoice. As a Stoice flip turns out, getting another nice 10% on the Mega Stoice, putting it down 59%. Scold crit 64 on the Mew, as Mew kills it with a T-Bolt. We go to revenge it with Gyarados, Terra Electric, Trailblaze. Doesn't pick up the kill, but Mew can't do too much to it, only doing 31. Another Trailblaze was probably a roll to kill, but we instead now CC into the Swampert. This is obviously a two-shot. You can also just now get a kill with Trailblaze. We opt, though, to bulk up, and this lets us lose our defense drop for the Arcanine in the back. As Rocks go back up, so this now means, of course, Petulant is really dead. Which is notable because, for all Swaggy knows, this is a banded Arcanine, right? And if it's a banded Arcanine with E-Speed, then Petulant would have been able to heal up on it without these rocks. Anyway, Duraludon comes out in now. Yeah, sure, but I mean, I don't know. Is denying Trailblaze a big thing, though? I guess is my point. I think you bulk up because you feel like you can. Like, I don't think you care. From your perspective, why would you care about denying Trailblaze, right? This thing's going to be faster than your whole team unless you'll boost a Moon. Yeah, sure. Anyway, Duraludon comes in. You might wonder why, because it just dies to the CC. But this was part of Cap's plan. Getting the drop now means Arcanine can come out with Intimidate, proc Defiant, but this gives Arcanine itself a 2+ attack range raise, and then Terra Normal E-Speed nukes the Gyarados. And the poison means it can't get burnt from an incoming Flame Body Heatran, and Arcanine is now free to take this game. with CC plus E-Speed. So a good bring from Team Cap with this Mirror Herb Intim Arcanine into Gyarados. Really just kind of fried it. And yeah, it clears the game. Not much really Swaggy could do once this Arcanine got going. The only thing in hindsight is, of course, healing Petrine up. But, yeah. Obviously, at the time, I don't think you're too worried about Arcanine offensively. I feel like you think you can definitely deal with it, so you can't be too mad there. Okay. I've been pinged. Okay. Game 2. Yeah. Game 2 is Friday versus K-Dot. I feel like, so in my head we've watched this game, but no. Who did Friday play that? No, Friday played Empoleon. Yeah, okay. Who did K-Dot play? I don't remember. Oh, Hans. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he won with Zap. If I was like Lorbark. Hans, yeah. For some reason, I thought we'd have this matchup, but yeah, anyway. Okay, Friday versus K-Dot. So this is Terra Fairy Como, Terra Fire Jugulis versus Terra Poison Keldeo, Terra Noxie. Okay. Terra Poison's nice on Keldeo. Kind of just hits everything that the water type move doesn't. I guess except from Venusaur. Venusaur's probably the one mon that you're going to struggle to get through, but Venusaur notably can't hurt Keldeo too much. I guess like Earth Power EQ, but if it's EP, which makes a lot of sense, then something like a Leftovers Calm Mind Keldeo does just sort of fry the Venusaur. So I'm expecting the Keldeo to not be choiced. God, I just think Excadrill sucks as a Pokemon. I haven't seen it do a single thing noteworthy to me. I guess here the EQ is a very good click. There's no EQ resist. So something like a Scarf. Yeah, something. The issue I have with Excadrill is just that it's your Steel, but it has no Fizz Def, and so it can't swap in into anything you want your Steel type to, and that just kind of sucks. Anyway, something like a Scarf Excadrill can definitely put in work here. There's notably no ground resist unless the Klefki Magnet rises, which means that yeah. So that's a possibility for K-Dot. I assume though that Garchomp will eat a few of them just naturally, just due to its bulk, especially Mega. Terra Fire on the Jugulis. I guess it's just to get through the Klefki, but I think Is it necessary? Don't we get a fire move naturally on Jugulis? Could you not? Because the nice thing about maybe it's just going to be Terra Como, right? Because the nice thing about the dark typing is that you can't get like T-Waves from the Prankstamon, and so at least then you can just Fire Blast the Klefki, assuming, I'm pretty sure it gets that. So maybe it's going to be the Terra Fairy Como into this team, which looks pretty promising until you realise this Klefki's poison. And Terra Fire and Darkrai. Makes me want Ace Pyro Ball. That puts the 50-50s. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay. I think I would definitely lean that Como is going to Terra this match, but let's see what happens. Lead Cinderace into the Primarina. So, I think, yeah, I remember what happens here. Immediate Gunk Shot from Cinderace, nuking Primarina. So I assume what happens here is that Prim is Scarf and Cinderace is Scarf. And so K-Dot thought it was going to be a free water click into this team. Especially after Keldeo Terra's water is an extremely free click into this team. But, yeah. Gunk Shot instead nukes it immediately, and Prim falls over, and we're immediately up 6-5. But K-Dot has the chance now to try to get some ground back by using the fact that Cinderace is notably locked and is forced to swap. So we go into Venusaur, which is interesting. I guess getting the Mega off early is going to be nice here. Probably Leech Seed, right? No, we Earthquake the incoming Garchomp. I wonder if that... I mean, sure. I mean, yeah. I guess it covered... By the way, notably Earthquakes, the Keldeo CM stuff doesn't work as well, so that's a good bring. I guess maybe you're expecting Klefki to try to come in there. But anyway, Stealth Rocks go up as a Leech Seed comes out. Sadly misses. I do think you probably should have just Leech Seeded the turn before. Probably made a bit more sense. It's just an all-round click, but this miss obviously sucks. And Rocks go up. EQ now comes out doing about 40% to Venusaur. So another miss happens, which is just tragic, really. We finally get the Leech Seed off, but it's too late. You're going to die to an EQ. I think we find out later this thing has Synthesis. I don't get why you don't Synth at least this prior turn. But we're forced out now. Klefki comes hard out as Juggy comes out. So kind of a call from... I don't know if this is a call from Friday really or what, but... I guess you're expecting the Ground Immune to come out right on the EQ click, so fair enough. And now Klefki is in front of the Jugulus. Could obviously just go for a Spike, but it screens Jugulus. Notably that Jugulus is not terroring. Sorry, screens Klefki. And the Mega Venusaur comes back out and is able to now start spamming Leech Seeds again. No, we actually just finally go for the Synthesis. So we're back up, but there's a shit ton of hazards up now. Notably, though, no Spinner, so... sorry, Spin Blocker, so Excadrill will be able to get rid of these. And we finally see a Leech Seed hit into the Klefki, and you can kind of just spam this move. Knock off into the Cinderace is quite nice. Knocking off the Scarf. Funny Venusaur set, by the way. No stabs, Leech Seed Synth. Kind of just here to be annoying. Makes sense, get into this team. Yeah, so Cinderace U-turns into the Mega Chomp. Assume we're going to see... Oh, we see another Earthquake. You can probably just Synth once here. Nope, we miss a Leech Seed. I get that this is annoying, but I feel like you had to Synth this turn, right? Because you just died to 2. And now you also died to Tazard, so I think Frida's objective here is going to be to deny Excadrill coming in. I guess you could just EQ this turn. Was to beat Terra Poison CM. Yeah, I think this was a good... I like the set. And like the misses have obviously sucked with Leech, but I just think that some of them should have just been Simps, right? That's all I'm saying. I do think the set's good. Anyway, free EQ, I guess Jugulus, yeah, does come out, but it's taking Rock, so this is a pretty free EQ click from Friday, right? Because no matter what, you're getting forced progress here. We're trying to just deny Excadrill from Friday's side, and obviously K-Dot really wants to get it in so that Venusaur doesn't have to die. But this Garchomp's gotten a lot of progress. Klefki now comes in on the Hurricane, doing nothing through the screens. Are we just going to get screens up and let the Excadrill in? We do see a U-turn come out, and in comes the Excadrill, can now just remove the screen. So Friday has let it in. This is going to be a free U-turn click. Sorry, not U-turn, Rapid Spin click. But in return, we have now gotten back both screens up. So Friday is saying, you know, I've got these hazards up, and in return for you removing them, I am now going to get all my screens up, and I'm going to get myself in a strong position. So how does Friday now take advantage of this Rapid Spin, right? Because it's in his court now to make use of everything going on here. Mega Venusaur comes out. We see just another Spike go up, so we don't immediately make any sort of value off these hazards. Cinderace now comes out on the Synth. Another U-turn now on the Mega Venusaur. Probably a Leech Seed coming out. Garchomp comes back out. Yeah, now we're back to full. I feel like, yeah. So I guess what I mean out of this interaction is it feels like Friday has not taken advantage of these screens, right? We've got now one Spike back up for the spin, but it feels like overall we've just let everything go back up. We've let Venusaur heal it again, and we haven't taken advantage of our momentum. But you can now just get your rocks back up, which is quite nice. But we actually just go for the EQ chip on the Leech Seed. Finally connects. in this case, Mega Venusaur does 1v1 the Garchomp. But we get rocks up in return for this. So I think Friday seems happy giving up the Garchomp for the rocks. Could have simped this turn, I guess, but if you simp, you're probably... Yeah, you're not killing the Garchomp, so fair enough. Still end at 63. We've got one turn of Reflect left, and Darkrai comes in. Mega Venusaur at 63. Is that enough for Darkrai to pick up the kill? Rocks damage on the Jugulus as Psyshock comes out. Obviously trying to pick up the kill on Venusaur. But again, Friday's fine clicking this move because this Jugulus is just getting worn down. And also, we now just kill it with T-Bolt. So, big Darkrai in here. Dazzling Gleam does 78 to the Darkrai. Lorb, Coco, and it dies to Sludge Bomb. I assume this is revealing AV on the Darkrai. So, good bring from Friday. Really just kind of sat in front of what K-Dot brought out. And now with all these hazards down, it just really feels like K-Dot's got no chance unless this Como can just pick up the game on its own. Excadrill comes out. Obviously, hoping last move is not like... Oh, it's Scarf, Rapid Spin, Excadrill. So Scarf is really not what you wanted to be in against the hazard stack, right? This feels like a sad Excadrill set. But it did get the spin off and kill the Darkrai, so maybe not the worst thing ever. But this now lets Friday position well. Can he take advantage of this Rapid Spin? Brings out the Terapagos. And I assume Terapagos is now going to just set up. So Calm Mind in front of the Venusaur kills the 63% revealing Lorb Terapagos, really just nuking. And now Keldeo comes hard in on the Como. Oh, we have to assume this is probably Mirror Herb Keldeo, the way it just swapped hard in. Initial Terra Poison, Terra Blast, 67%. So the crit did matter here, right? But for the two-shot, but so that sort of sucks. But I doubt it was ever winning, especially with the Autotomize, right? You're never killing this turn anyway, so it's not a big deal. And now we're just going to see a Terra Blast kill as the Mirror Herb did proc. And finally Surf, of course, or Hydro Pump is going to end the game. So, realistically, just a good hazard stack game from Friday. Just keeping up the pressure, forcing in the Excadrill, and the fact this thing was Scarf really didn't help against this kind of team. Unfortunate, really, with the Leech Seeds, but no matter what, the hazards were going to be annoying. So, yeah. I like the team. It was a good win. So sadly, that is K-Dot killed from the tournament, but they had a good run. I think obviously got sniped. Still made bracket, so can't be too upset. Yeah, I really do just wish we got to see this Jugulus in terrain a bit more. By a bit more, I mean at all. Anyway, we have a game here. Now I don't personally want to watch this game. Right, this is not a game I want to watch. This was yesterday. Okay. Yeah, so Zarude's very good this game. So, my first look at the matchup was that... you got this. I see. So, do you think Keldeo... Sorry, do you think Como won then? If without the crit? Or were you just assuming there's something else going on? Like, another reason why... Another thing it could kill something. Oh, right. Reflect, yeah. I guess there's Drain Punch, but, yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so my look at this matchup. I thought that offensive Zapdos was pretty good into me. And so I immediately went into a kind of bulkier Zarude with Terra Electric leftovers. The idea, my game plan this game was to kind of knock off spam and then set up hazards. My main ways of setting up hazards were just Rock's Metagross, which can kind of rock against as it comes in on something like Rabombi. and also Zapdos because I had an Ockerberry on deck. And then also my Gliscor, and my Gliscor was prepped to come in always on the Mega Banette, which would give it a free turn to click spikes. So that was the idea from my side. Okay. So yeah, so going into the game, I was lead Hooper, just hoping to make some progress at the start of the game, because there's not really a good switch into this mon just in general. I go for a knockoff turn 1, proc the Cobbleberry on the Mesprit. This damage told me that it was not bulky Mesprit, so this thing had a lot of offensive investment. And I get T-Waved immediately, which makes a lot of sense. I didn't really mind this though. I take 28 from the Ice Beam and kill it with knockoff, so I'm immediately up a Pokemon, but Hooper, notably, is not going to be living many hits in this state. Banette comes out to try to pick up the kill. I immediately go out into my Gliscor as the Banette actually clicks Substitute, so it was trying to either catch me on a full para, or it was going to sub as I probably go into something like the Bike. And then it can probably hit me with a Gunk Shot. Gliscor in. So to reveal what I am, I'm no item Gliscor, so this Banette can't Poltergeist me. But I still don't want to just go for Spikes here, because the issue is that I can still be Encored into Spikes, meaning that if Banette was like... okay, I mean, I guess it needs 2 attacks, so it can't really fit Encore, but... I wanted to be safe around it, and so here I just go for an EQ to break the sub. Notably, I'm faster, so I'm EV'd to be faster in this thing, and Poltergeist fails. And then I go for get my Spike up as the Zapdos comes out. I haven't gotten my Terra off on Zarude yet, so I don't have a free switch into this guy, and so I go into my Hooper and Bound. Sorry, before that, I click Toxic on the Zapdos, as I am notably faster. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, I didn't really know the set enough, right, for me to just start aimlessly clicking Spikes yet. But yeah, I missed Toxic on this turn, and the Substitute goes up. And with this sub up, I have to kind of... I need to get my Terra off on Zarude, but I don't want to go hard into it on a expected Hurricane from an offensive Zapdos, and so instead I just go into my Hooper Unbound. Hurricane miss is obviously nice for me. This now means that I can break the Substitute calling as long as I don't get full parried. As I was correct in calling that it is offensive Zapdos, and I knock off break the sub. So here, of course, I'm just sacking Hooper. It did its job. It got a kill at the start of the game. And now I can finally Terra my Zarude, and I can just go for the very free knockoff. Yeah, nice. Okay. Rabombi is it doesn't really do too much to me, and so I'm quite happy here to just click knockoff again, especially now that its choice scarf's gone, so it feels like switcheroo, it's not as big of a problem. As it defogs away my hazard, so it's not defog Zapdos. So I bulk up once, and then I go for the kill with knockoff. I sadly slightly missed the kill, and because I'm only jungle healing, I'm actually healing exactly the amount that I'm taking here. And so after 2 turns of just clicking jungle healing, just to see if I can regain health slowly, I make the pivot. So I'm basically back where I started, and now I make the pivot into my Metagross. So Metagross here, I can either click knockoff, trying to catch something on the switch in. I can also just get rocks up. I don't really think Rabombi ever... I mean, Rabombi being sacked makes a lot of sense here, but I first just click rocks as the Zapdos comes up, so now this means that Rabombi is dead, because it doesn't have boots, and this is the only removal. Here, I make a misplay. So, yeah, so I swap here. So obviously, from Cavan's perspective, my answer to this mon is the Zarude, which is Terra Electric. And it's easy to call, right? Because that is my switching. But my Metagross also has an Ockerberry, and so since I have the Ockerberry, it makes sense that I should stay in and just make use of my item. So here, I should have knockoff. I should have clicked knockoff because this really neutralized the Zapdos to stop coming in repeatedly. But instead, I do go Zarude. as the Piloswine call happened. So if I clicked knockoff that turn, this Piloswine would have really not been an issue. But now that I'm in this spot with an Eevee-like Piloswine in front of me, my team really doesn't like this. So I have to make a call on how I'm going to deal with this. And it essentially boils down to, because Metagross is Terra Poison, and my set really doesn't deal with a Terra Poison Metagross, I'm going to use Iron Valiant to break through this Piloswine. So an EQ comes out as I go into Valiant. There's a bit of a call here. I could Moonblast, predicting the Banette to come in, or I could CC, but I'm pretty happy clicking CC, because if Banette comes in, one, it's taking rocks, and two, I can always just go back into my Gliscor for more spikes. So I just click CC. I get my chip on the Piloswine, and then EQ kills my Valiant. And now I can pick up the kill with Zarude with knockoff. Now, so far I've been knockoff, bulk up, jungle healing, and this is where it's worth noting that literally a minute before challenging for the game, I swapped Encore to Drain Punch. The idea of this was that Earthquakes from Piloswine and Melmetal did a lot, because of course I'm Terra Electric, even through bulk up, and I 1v1 them by clicking Drain Punch. But the whole reason I had Encore all the way up to this point was for Acid Armor, Melmetal. And also, of course, like Destiny Bond, Mega Banette. It was good for both. But last second I swapped off of it. And in this moment, the one set that I was hoping not to see. Well, Mega Sceptile is taking like 50 from knockoff. Let's not kid ourselves. It's a fucking Mega Sceptile. I was never worried about Mega Sceptile. But yeah, in this moment, the one set I didn't want to see happens. And we see Acid Armor, Melmetal, and in this moment I pretty much knew I'd lost, and it would come down to a crit war, and so I start bulking up, and immediately my Zarude gets body press crit. I mean, it would have always come down to a crit war, so I can't crit war. So I can't really get too mad about the crit. It's really my fault for just swapping off the set, right? But yeah, so it is unfortunate. But yeah, it's really my bad on prep. I did obviously expect this to come. It was very good into me. I mean, it feels a bit weird because it's into Toxapex, and so we see this as Sleep Talk. And it would have been coming into Pex or Rotom. So it's a bit of an odd bring, but I guess like the whole point is you try to remove the mons before doing it. So it's not you know, it makes some sense. But yeah, I mean, I sadly did remove my prep for it. And it does just clean the game. So yeah, so I do lose this game, and I do myself get shot dead out of Tim. So yeah, that is me gone. GG. His plan was trick Scarf to Pex. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely noted trick in my prep. My plan on Rabombi, if it still had... So obviously I'm Nox spam. My plan with Rabombi was always to go hard Metagross, because I don't mind Metagross getting given a Scarf. But once Metagross... Once I knocked it immediately, I didn't need to swap out... of Zarude. Anyway, final game of this evening. We've got Hons versus Empoleon. So this is the winners bracket game 2. Winner of this goes to winners finals with a shot at 180 Great British Pounds guaranteed if they win. Okay, so this is Terra Grass Ogre and Terra Fire the Dunsparce into Terra Grass Mamo and Terra Poison Cart. So Terra Poison Cart. You told Empoleon Quaquaval didn't look good in the matchup. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, Terra Poison Cart sort of screams that you... Well, I mean, you're already resisting the grass moves, but I guess it covers the like a superpower as well, right? Free counters. I mean, 2 of those die to... They die to the mixture of knockoff and Taxel raw, right? I mean, anyway. Okay. Let's watch this game. So yeah, Terra Cart, I mean, Cart's already good into Ogerpon as a defensive check, but I guess Terra Poison covers superpower is what I was saying. And of course, I guess Grass Mammo is also another measure to just not immediately get whipped to death from this team. I assume that Hans felt his team was pretty weak to Ogerpon. Anyway, it's a Gligar lead into Starmie. Feels pretty good lead for Empoleon, right? Immediately you're threatening this Gligar with just a water move or an ice move, and this Gligar probably just falls the fuck over. So Spectria comes hard out on the Starmie, taking 67% of its HP. And it reveals Lorb Starmie, so we know that Spectria is faster and can fire off a Shadow Ball. The Dun, of course, could come out. Also revealed Leftover Spectria. Rotom Heat is actually the one to come out on the Wisp. So the Wisp, I assume, is to catch the Dun coming in. Rotom Heat actually covers this. And now it feels like Hans is already down, right? All that's happened in this game so far is Spectria taking a lot of HP, and this is not a particularly favourable situation for Spectria, and Rotom Heat can just get a slow Volt Switch off. Shadow Ball actually just comes out doing 45% to the Rotom Heat, as the Volt Switch does come out, but realistically, that's a good amount of chip on the Rotom Heat, and the Spectra reveals to have a significant amount of bulk. I assume we actually probably should have known that from the Starmie, but I don't know this. Anyway, Ogerpon comes out and wants to start just firing off Cudgels. Hard Kartana comes in. Did we see a fighting move click to call this? No, we get an immediate Cudgel doing 12% of Kartana's health, and Leftovers is shown, so it is a bulky Kartana. Really just fucking ate that hit. And an immediate knockoff comes out, knocks the boots, and Counter comes out, which I probably should have noticed because it moved second, doing a shit ton of damage to the Kartana. So that's a nice break from a good tech from Empoleon here. Yeah, so Kartana's already in trouble. You definitely don't want to lose it though, right? It's still going to be good for Ogerpon later if you can simp it up, so you're expecting a swap out here. Gligar now comes out on the U-turn. Probably, wait. No, you can't Cudgel actually there, no. Yeah, Cudgel wouldn't have killed, so yeah, you're kind of forced to U-turn. And now Starmie comes back out on the Gligar. You don't really have any good switch-ins to this, and Gligar, it dies to the Surf. Gardevoir comes out, traces Analytic. Obviously, it's going to eat any hit from it and murk it back. But Starmie says, I want this chip on you, takes it, and dies to Hyper Voice. So Empoleon's happy with getting this trade for the Gardevoir HP, and now wants the revenge with the Tinkerton. Could predict and click Stealth Rocks on the swap, but Hans protects calling the Gigaton Hammer, gets it right, and now deals 30% to the Tinkerton as Play Rough misses, which is unfortunate for Empoleon. Another Protect comes out in the Gigaton Hammer. Doesn't try to call it with another Play Rough. And now it gets Encored into the Gigaton Hammer, killing the Gardevoir. So you might think maybe Hans didn't understand this interaction beforehand, but I assure you he did, and this was on purpose to now finally get the Quaquaval in. Quaquaval clicks Aqua Step as the Ogerpon comes in, but it's also Mirror Herb, so it gets +1 speed from the Ogerpon through Mirror Herb, and then Aqua Steps to +2. +2 is now enough to outspeed the Ogerpon, even though it's Terra. And now Quaquaval is staring down the team and says, I want to kill everyone alive with my Moxie ability. Dragon Bolt comes out on the CC, is immune to it, but it doesn't matter because Taxel comes out and just one-shots the Dragapult. Notably, this is only really possible, right, because the Starmie's dead. Actually, is that true? I assume last move's knock, right, for the Starmie. I mean, even if it's not, I guess it's probably not much damage before Starmie just kind of gets fried by this guy anyway. Yeah, a lot of Mirror Herb games. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, gets the +1 from the Dragapult kill, and now you've got to wonder how is Quaquaval losing? CC's into the Dunsparce, no Choppleberry, immediately dies to the CC, and Quaquaval just finishes up the whole game. So it's tough for Empoleon, gets fried by the duck, and this puts Hans to the winner's final for a shot at winning his game for a guaranteed 180 Great British Pounds. He needed to go to Dun on Tax of the Helmet. I mean, if he got Yeah, I mean, it's very hindsight, right? I mean, was it Culber then? Because like, if it's knock, doesn't it also just fall over? Maybe it lives one. I mean, even then, do you even kill it? I guess you wisp. I guess it could be Colball Wisp. Anyway, yeah. So big W from Hans, and that puts us now into week 3 of Tim. And this week, what have we got? We've got Team Cap Hans, Cavan Empoleon, and 3-Day Swaggy. Damn. So I've already done my pick'ems for this week, and I've got Hans taking the win over Team Cap. Sorry, Team Cap. I've got Empoleon beating Cavan, and I've got 3-Day beating Swaggy. So that's my predictions. Oh, but yeah, those are round 1, round 2 of Tim. I hope everyone enjoyed. I am going to probably go to bed. These on pick'ems every game. Okay. See you everyone. See you next week. Goodbye.